Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about a pretty interesting situation, I guess, because in a way, I guess, some people may think of me as a little bit of a hypocrite when it comes to this situation, but I think that people who honestly think that really just don't understand the nuance of a situation like this. They don't really take into context why exactly people are critical of a situation like this. Instead, they just look at things like this through a really kind of like a black and white lens that doesn't really allow them to get the full situation, if you will, right? So, one of the more controversial streamers in the industry, xQc, has been getting critiqued pretty significantly, right? And I guess to an extension, this is about reaction content and like kind of streaming reactions online. Now, there's been a pretty massive argument that isn't really the center of all of this that's been going on for a long time about, what is online streaming? What is reaction content? Are people actually legally reacting to content, or are streamers and creators just basically infringing upon copyright to make content? It really doesn't boil down to this argument, but ultimately it's part of it because that's where a lot of this scrutiny has been coming from against people like xQc in the first place, because they fall into the category of creators who most people would say is just not good reaction content, and they're stealing other people's videos and whatnot to watch them on stream. Now, this particular situation revolving around xQc and his reactions is based on a clip of him apparently reacting to a pretty serious IRL clip. Now, this is regarding the Israel-Palestine conflict that is still ongoing, and honestly, I don't want to even get into that, right? That's not really the point of today's video, is not for me to sit here and, I guess, update or educate you guys on Israel and Palestine, okay? Now, while I've made videos talking about other conflicts and giving you guys updates and information on them, it's not necessarily the most fun, enjoyable, lovey content to make, ultimately, I want to make videos that I enjoy making and ones that make me happy to make, and truth be told, man, if I don't have to talk about people's kids getting blown the fuck up every day, I'd probably be a little bit happier. So, it's a tragic fucking situation, obviously, on both sides. There's just so many innocent people who've just been killed all over a pretty senseless and pointless war in the first place, right? One that, realistically, if you know much about the history of the area and whatnot, one that, if the correct actions were taken in the past, may not even be as intense or exist in the first place, right? So, it's a serious conflict, and for xQc, I guess, to stream his reaction to a bombing in this situation, that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, because as far as they're concerned, right, getting on your comfortable little Kick or Twitch or whatever stream, right, doesn't really matter the platform, in the confines of your multi-million-dollar millionaire house, right, where you have basically, you're in no danger, essentially, right? You're sitting here reacting to the traumatization and the ongoing war of people across the planet while you're eating DoorDash, Popeye's chicken, or whatever, right? For a lot of people, that comes off as not only insensitive, but very fucking disrespectful, and also, on top of all of that, it's bad content creation, because instead of actually, streaming himself playing video games or making content, people are, mad that he's instead streaming shit like this and uploading videos of his reactions to this. So, before, we go really any further into the video, let me go ahead and clarify my stance on making, disturbing content, I guess is a good way to put it. Making content about real-world tragedies or updating people on really bad stuff that happens in real life, right? Like I said, I personally have covered war and conflict and whatnot here on the channel, and my personal stance is I really don't mind if people make videos or content or updates, whatever it is, right, about ongoing tragedies and conflicts. I really don't see that to be a problem because, ultimately, right, you look at fucking like CNN or Fox News or CBS, right? In many instances, they have the same amount of interest in actually providing factual updates as people on YouTube do, which is pretty little to none for most. And they are completely allowed to and are not shamed for monetizing these situations in any given way. Am I really gonna sit here and be like, oh, CNN gets a pass to play a fucking Burger King Whopper ad over footage of Palestinian kids getting blown up, but some 24-year-old dude in his fucking basement, I guess online or whatever, right, he doesn't have the right to talk about that shit because he's just using it for money and abusing it for money. I really don't mind when people make content about these things. In fact, I watch a couple different creators that I can think of that make videos about disturbing history and situations and whatnot, right? So that in and of itself isn't the problem. And I don't think that's even really the problem that most people in this situation have with xQc. It's just about the manner in which he did it. So xQc has responded throughout this whole thing, though. Not very well, not very well. And I figure most people kind of saw that coming. I don't hate xQc. I honestly don't watch the guy. I don't really care about him. But anytime I kind of see him try to have to, like, I guess, intellectually defend himself or, like, have to respond to a critical point being made against him, he doesn't really seem like that kind of guy, to put it the nice way. He doesn't really seem like he's very capable of critical thinking when it comes to shit like this. And why would you say that, Optimus? Why do you think that's the case? Well, because the moment he got called out for this shit and everybody was like, hey bro, why are you live reacting to babies getting blown up? His first thing to do was not to address the point being made or like actually provide a rational answer or response. It was to just upload pictures of himself flexing money. So xQc just begins responding to the criticism and whatnot against him with this here, with, huh? What? And this is a picture he drops on a, like, critical tweet against him or whatever. And honestly, it doesn't go well. xQc didn't want to show this on stream or anything, but a YouTuber by the name of Quite absolutely fucking ratioed him every single time that they interacted in these comments. And because this is the lamest fucking reply he could have possibly dropped, right? Like, the argument is not about whether or not xQc is a fucking bum living in a cardboard box behind a subway somewhere. The question is, hey, why is xQc intentionally profiting off of a war that he knows nothing about, that he doesn't give a fuck what about anything going on in the situation? He can't provide any sort of context, historical analysis, intellectual thought on what he's seeing. The whole sole purpose of him reacting to this is simply to put more money in his wallet, which it's kind of ironic if you think about it, because him responding this way and, you know, showing himself with a briefcase full of money that he'll probably either pay to maids to pick up his DoorDash bags or gamble on fucking digital currency. By him showing that picture, he proved the whole point right, that all it is that he cares about isn't the Palestinian babies getting their fucking limbs thrown hundreds of feet across the fucking way by Israeli missiles on refugee camps, right? He doesn't care about the Israeli babies that were fucking burned and shot with AK-47s by terrorists. He cares about how much money him reacting to this situation he knows nothing about will earn him in the long run. That's all he cares about. And of course, that's immediately what people start shitting on him for, is that he's soulless, he doesn't care, and the only thing that intrigues him at all is financial income. And of course, he just continues, I'm not even gonna show it because it's just fucking stupid, but he starts flexing watches and just a bunch of other shit. And I mean, it would have worked, I guess, if like the point actually was valid to respond to that with, but this just wasn't. So it just made him look like a pompous fucking douchebag in front of everybody. And to be fair, honestly, that's really what xQc does best, is just make himself look like a fucking douchebag. Which is honestly unfortunate because I really feel like he's not actually a bad person. Like, when I look at xQc in this situation, I'm not seeing some manipulative guy who realizes I'm gonna make all this money off this war clip, let's react to that, right? I see an uninformed, stupid guy who, in any normal scenario, would probably, like, be working at a Best Buy, or, like, would be the fucking, like, the receptionist at a hotel, or, like, he'd be, like, you know, mopping floors at an office, which I'm not downgrading that, by the way. I'm not shitting on him for that. But in a normal timeline, that's what he'd be doing. But he lives in the world where, you know, you can fucking stream and you can play video games. And I mean, hey, I've benefited from this too, bro. My ass would be on the oil rigs too 35 years ago. But instead of just being like, hey, I'm kind of grateful for that opportunity, LOL, this has benefited my life, he isn't smart enough to really comprehend, right? That, like, he has it that easy. I mean, this is a guy who has openly shown people in the past that he has pretty much everything done for him in real life. I mean, the guy doesn't cook. He pretty much only eats out / eats DoorDash, which, hey, I eat a lot of it too. I can't really sit here and judge for that. But he has maids that he pays to come clean up his room in his house that he doesn't speak to while they're doing it. I mean, like, in most people's world, he's considered a fucking man-child. Let's just call it for what it is. In most people's world, he's not considered a functional adult. So the idea, first and foremost, that I'd want to watch a reaction from him of a fucking, you know, geopolitical skirmish between two states, right, that's not something I would be interested in anyway. But it's just, I don't know, man. It's one of those things, right, where like, what the fuck is the point in all this, right? And then now xQc, now that all of this is continued, right, after he dropped the fucking, flexing money images and whatnot, right, he started to kind of like make excuses, I guess, in a way for like, oh, this is why I did it. Oh, this is why I did this. Rah, blah, 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 this is why I flexed money about dead babies. Like, so he then uploaded a video like reacting or responding to this called Twitter is Mad at Me. And he's been claiming that the reason he posted him flexing money about this whole situation is because, well, Twitter's mad at him, and I mean, hey, he just was making Twitter mad at him. Which, I don't know, like, the fucking lack of self-awareness really tells you everything about a situation like this. A guy who could look at this, and the biggest takeaway he can get is, oh, but man, I just was trolling Twitter. I just try and make guys upset, man, What the fuck is everyone so mad about, bro? Like, if that's the best you can get out of them, the like most intelligent response on that, I don't know, man. Like you're barking up the fucking wrong tree about really doing anything about it. So it's one of those things like, yeah, everyone's gonna forget about it in 3 days, but it's like, that's a pretty shitty douchebag move, bro. Like it's not like that was what was necessary in this whole thing, right? Like I'm not here to defend him for uploading the initial video because ultimately he just did it the wrong way. This is the wrong person to try and make content like that. But I don't know, man. You can find any excuse you want in the book to be like, oh, that's why I flexed my money on these people. At the end of the day, bro, there are thousands of people, women, men, children, doesn't matter, thousands upon thousands of people in the Gaza Strip, in Israel, in the West Bank, in these, these regions over here, thousands of people have had their lives taken from them, and it's in a way, for many of them, that is not dignified, it's not honorable, there's babies getting fucking blown up, fucking shot, there's women getting fucking, killed in front of their children, getting fucking assaulted sexually. Like, this is a very disgusting and disturbing, horrific sight of humanity, right? I mean, the vast majority of people look at something like this, and I mean, it's just like, damn, dude. I really can't imagine, if my family and my friends were going through this. That's fucking terrible, right? And it doesn't matter which side you support. If you're fucking pro-Palestine, pro-Israel, it doesn't really matter. The fact of the matter here is, so many innocent people have died, and this is not something that, is, oh, let's make a fucking quirky reaction video to this, bro. If you're gonna make content about something like this, actually learn what the fuck is going on, build an educated or understanding take, and then do it with some respect. That's really all it takes. But of course, none of these people give a fuck about any of that, right? Like, this guy, as he's proven, is so rich he doesn't care. So, I don't know, just a really weird kind of one-off drama I wanted to throw my take in on here real quick. So with that being said, though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @subtooptimus. Make sure to check out Optimist down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimist subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus. Well, of course, talking about this situation and signing out.